My hollow point had a video about the Kimber Solo and kind of prompted me to do a video of my pocket guns. He said he didn't like the striker fire. I don't have an opinion either way. Kimber makes a pretty good product, but it kind of takes me also to Noodles the Cat 100 had a video about knowing your limitations. Now the reason why I carry the guns that I do is because they are double action only, and they have a pretty long trigger pull. Now you saw this on my EDC video. It's a Kel-tec P380 and it's a 380 caliber. I run staggered ball ammo and soft points, and I've got some hollow points in there. So I think the hollow points in the tube. Yep, hollow points in the tube. So I stagger my rounds just in case there's varied situations, but to me, in a stressful situation, just making a bang and sending lead down range is what I need it for. I'm not a quick draw guy. Where I live, I have to carry concealed, so quick draw is kind of out of the question. I have to dig it out of my pocket or out of my concealment holster, so that's going to kill half a second there. But my thing is, it's not a primary weapon. My primary weapon is being aware of my surroundings. But back to pocket guns. This is a hammer fired pistol. You see a hammer working in the back, and double action only. It's got a pretty long trigger pull. Set it. So that is the staging. That's the amount of travel, and then the release. It's not a bad trigger. It's about, if I had to guess, probably a 9-pound. But in a stressful situation, I think I can find the strength to pull this trigger. But it's a long enough trigger pull to where if I had to get this out of my pocket and it happens to come out, and worst case scenario my finger slips, I've got that much travel and tactile feel to know that not to pull the trigger at the wrong time. So moving on. Before I got the 380, I wanted a 9mm, and actually this is what I wanted. It's the PF9, Kel-tec PF9, and it is also a hammer design, and it's got also the long trigger pull. It gives you 7+1 in the tube, and I like it for the same reasons I like the P380. But when I was in the market for getting a concealed carry gun, this wasn't available to where I was at. Sure, you can go to a gun shop and buy it for, I think, $350 or $340. But a friend of mine was a dealer, and he could get one for me for right about $290, but it was unavailable in his network. So what I did was I got the P-11, and the P-11 has 10-round magazine, and I carry one in the tube, which I don't have right now, and it is also hammer. And this trigger pull is actually more stout than this trigger pull. This one is, I would say, about 60% of what this trigger pull is. It's pretty stout. So again, double action only. I know my limitations. I don't train quick draw, so I know that my muscle memory is not designed to the 1911 cocked and locked situation. So I carry double action only, and it goes bang when I need it to. This was about $265. This was right around $300, and I think I paid $290 for this through my friend who's a dealer. And they all function fine. I've run probably a couple hundred rounds through each gun. The only problem I really had was with this one, the P-11, and I believe it was kind of a combination of a manufacturer's I wouldn't say defect, but the low end of the of the quality stream on the barrel, and a high pressure load. Not over max, mind you. It was well within the specified max loads. Under, I think it was running 3.8 grains of Winchester 223 or something like that. Winchester something. But I'll roll some pictures in at the top here. What happened was I was shooting at a can, and I pulled trigger, bang, recoiled, saw the can jump, reset, and went to go pull the trigger again. Didn't see the can jump, but this finger kind of stung, so I thought I got it caught in a slide somehow. I don't know. It was just kind of a spur of the moment thought. But then I looked at my finger, and there was a black mark on my finger right here. And then I looked at the bottom of the gun, and this whole bottom section was missing. You can look at the picture on the top there. Come to find out, the bottom of the gun had separate. I never did find the bottom of it, and the barrel had bird caged. So a friend of mine that where I bought this through, he sent it back to Kel-tec. They fixed it, no questions asked. So my recommendation is, if you get a Kel-tec, only run factory rounds through it. If you're going to hand load, run a hand load through it. Use the absolute minimum hand load to get the bullet out of the chamber. You can see it's this one in particular is pretty thin barrel. These are not as thin as they look. I compared them to other 9mm, and they're about the same thickness, but I don't know what kind of steel comparison is. You can see it kind of necks down there, so that's probably a weak point. The other thing about the Kel-tecs is that they only come with one magazine, and if you order through Kel-tec, they're going to run you about 21, 26 bucks. What I found was, for the P380 in particular, I found these at my local sporting goods store. I don't know if you can find it at yours. These were closeouts, and they're regular $19.95, but I got them for about 15 bucks. And they're called Diamondback. Anyway, DB, and they don't even say what they're for, but I had my Kel-tec magazine, and I held it side by side and made sure that this groove here lined up with this groove here, and I took a chance on the bottom, and they work fine. So you can find less expensive magazines out there, and they seem to be a pretty good brand. This one I only have the one magazine for, and the P-11, I was digging through the bargain basement box of my local gun shop, and I found this. And it, again, I don't know what this goes to, but it fits nicely, and it chambers just fine. Oops. Anyway, I stovepiped it. Couldn't do that again in a million years. But anyway, those are my pocket guns. Now, there's a lot of haters of Kel-tec, but I never had a problem with it, except that one time that this one blew up. But I think that was just a combination of flukes. But if you run factory magazine or factory ammo through it, I don't think you have any problems. But there you go, my pocket guns. See you later.